Alright, good evening everyone. Another watch review video for you here today. This is the Hamilton Khaki Chronograph 38mm. Hamilton has one of those companies that has profusely long reference numbers, so I'll put the reference number in the description. But this watch is one of several watches in this design. It's of the automatic chronographs in the Khaki field line. It's an automatic chronograph, 25 joule. It's based, as anyone that knows movements can tell by looking at it immediately, on the Valjoux 7750, now ETA 7750. This one in particular has a day and a date complication added to that base movement. Let me thread this out of the way so you can see it. But as you can see, it's just a minimally decorated super workhorse movement. It's definitely an infamous movement in the watch world. It was originally designed in the 1970s. Get this readjusted here. Originally designed in the 1970s, kind of shelved until the 80s at the revival of Swiss watchmaking. Not a whole lot to say about these movements. They're in everything from entry-level or mid-level swatch products like Hamilton and Hamilton and some other brands of that tier that escape me at the moment. But anything from like a $500 gray market watch all the way up to IWCs and other super expensive, $8,000-9,000 watches. So these chronograph movements are very durable and incredibly reliable. Mine, I've been running a watch tracker app on it for probably a couple weeks now. I've been wearing this regularly, just putting it in the rotation, and it's been running about 4.5 seconds fast a day, which is just about where I like it, and incredibly consistent. And this is a cam system chronograph, so you don't have quite the same jelly smoothness as a column wheel, but that doesn't really bug me. Let me start the chronograph for you. Obviously top button start, and you may or may not get a jump as associated with all of this more basic cam style chronograph. I believe this movement's also kind of holds the title of being the first movement to be designed with CAD assistance. So that's kind of a cool feature for this movement. As you can see, tachometer scale on the outside, the traditional Valjoux 7750 layout with the running seconds at 9, the hours at 6, and the minutes at 12. Very smooth second hand sweep for the chronograph, and you have a jumping minutes, like most mechanical chronographs, jumping minutes minute counter, but the hour counter is non-jumping. It's just continuous sweep. So I will go ahead and stop this and reset it. The reset can be stiff sometimes depending on where it is, but it's always immediate and smooth, or smooth in the jumping action. It's the only downside to this movement, it's a little thick. So as you can see, this is a 38 by 47 millimeter watch, so 38 by 47 long, but it's about 15 mil thick. Part of that is because it has a display case back, but part of it's just because this is a very thick movement. So obviously, let me get these smudges out. There we go. But obviously this movement makes the watch a little chunkier, but that's part of the flaw of having an automatic chronograph. Very few automatic chronographs are very thin at the budget level. The next thinnest, probably at this price point or close to, would be the Dupree chronograph module that you can put on at a 2892. That you can get a watch that's around 11 mil thick, like a Speedy reduced. In roughly this price range, this watch retails for around $700 to $800, depending on if you get it with leather or bracelet. Official retail is like $1,200, but you can get a used Speedy reduced for a little around double that, which that's probably the next step up in the mechanical chronograph world, especially the automatic chronograph world. But yeah, this is 100 meter water resistant. The loom is okay, nothing to talk about crazy, but it's legible for a little while. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about this. It's got a sign crown. The case finishing, as you can see, is very field watch, just straight edges with just minimal chamfering on the edges of the case lines. The whole case is satinized, except for the bezel, which is polished, which is actually, you can't really tell on the camera, but it's a really neat look in person, especially when it's not dirty. That polished bezel offset with this satinized case gives it a very military look with like a little bit of pizzazz, which is kind of nice. Sign crown, very meaty crown, very easy to use. It's hacking and hand winding. Give it a little hand wind. Unlike most ETA movements, since this one was designed before ETA controlled the Valjoux company, it was designed with hand winding actually in mind, so you won't actually damage your movement by excessive hand winding, because the winding motion works is actually sufficiently robust to handle like repeated winding. Most ETA movements are designed with that area being slightly less durable, so eventually you can wear out some of the components if you wind them too much on their automatic watch movements. I believe the 2801 hand winder is the exception to that. But if you have any questions, you can let me know. I will respond to them in the comments below, and I'll probably do a follow-up video later on. I should have a video for the follow-up review for the Tudor Black Bay 36 coming up soon as well, so you can look out for that. I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye.